Okay, everyone, welcome to the new Investigator Award Program webinar, a partnership between NACC, Alzheimer Association, and RAC. We are joined here today with Heather Snyder from the Alzheimer Association, myself as well from the Alzheimer Association, Stefania Forner, and Dr. Sarah Biber and Hussein Yassine from RAC. So thank you so much. I'll pass it to Sarah. This is really quick. They'll do a quick presentation, and then mostly will be Q&A. And put your questions on the Q&A and not on the chat. Appreciate. Sarah, to you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for joining. We're so excited to share some information today about our expanded new Investigator Award Program. This expansion is a collaboration between the Alzheimer's Association, NACC, and the REC. So you're going to be hearing from some representatives, as Stefania mentioned, from those three groups today. And this is something that Heather Snyder and I have been thinking about for a long time and are so happy to be able to get this expanded program launched this year. And so I want to go through, next slide, please. Actually, the next one after that. So the big news is we're expanding to 10 awards from 2, but Heather's going to tell you more about that. But I want to talk a little bit about what are the goals? Why are we approaching the award program differently this year? And so one of the main reasons is we want to increase the odds of successful application. So we've gotten so many awards, increasing number of awards over the past year, many of them in the fundable range. And so we really want to be able to fund as many of those outstanding proposals as we can moving forward. So that's one of the main impetuses for this. Additionally, we wanted to think of ways to provide additional value to all applicants. So that's one thing that's going to be really wonderful about this partnership with the REC is that everyone who applies has the opportunity, if they would like, to connect with a mentor who can assist them in preparing their application, whether that's reviewing aims or reviewing the final application before it's submitted. It's a great opportunity to form a relationship with a mentor that hopefully will carry on beyond the award as well, and to get some feedback that you can apply to future award applications as well. Lastly, we want to really support a diverse pool of applicants and really partner with the REC and with Alzheimer's Association to increase promotion of the award, really get the word out and support as many people as possible who are interested in applying and being able to successfully do so. So those are our goals, and you're going to hear now more from others on the team.
Great. Thanks so much, Sarah. And it's great to see so many names that we recognize and individuals joining this call. And so a little bit more about this program. We're really excited to be partnering with NACC and the REC on this program. We think that this is a great opportunity, as Sarah said, to increase the numbers of individuals that are receiving these awards. So in past years, there were 2 awards that had been funded through the NACC. And this year, in collaboration, we will fund 10. We also have doubled the amount of direct funding that awardees will receive to $135,000 in direct funding. So that's exciting as well. It allows you to have that funding go a little bit further and do a little bit more. The couple pieces around eligibility, and I think we'll go into this a little more detail in a bit, but this program is open to any early career investigator that is affiliated with an ADRC. So this has to be an actively funded ADRC, one of the Alzheimer's disease research centers here in the United States, and based on the definition of an early career investigator, and we will go through that in more detail in a few minutes. Any area of research is eligible that's related to AD, Alzheimer's, and related dementias. And this has been a question that we've gotten from a few folks, so we do want to double down on this. You are not required to use NACC data for your application, although that's absolutely welcome, and we'd love to see it, but we'd love to see what other ideas you come up with as well. We'd love to see the other areas or the questions that you might be able to propose and move forward with this funding program. So welcome to use NACC data, welcome to include NACC data within your application, but it is not a requirement for funding, and it will not be part of the review criteria for these applications. So Sarah's going to introduce a little bit more about the mentorship and the REC component, and then we'll go through some of the eligibility pieces in a minute. Sarah?
Thank you. So we reached out to the REC a couple of months ago about partnering on this expanded program with us. And we're so thrilled that they said yes and jumped right in to begin developing this mentorship component with us. I'm going to pass off to Hussein Yassine, who's one of the key folks assisting with that, in addition to Elizabeth Head and Jose Cavazos. So I'll pass off to you, Hussein.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Heather, and everybody. It's Stefania for organizing this. And we're super excited to partnership with everybody. I have to just acknowledge that a lot of this work has been spearheaded by Liz Had. And this is the fruit of 3 years of work from the steering committee to be able to match mentees with mentors. On behalf of the REC steering committee, we are going to create a list of mentors, various disciplines, and try to match them to the applicants. And we're here to support you. So feel free to email us as steering committee or as your mentor. And if you have any questions about the application, we'll try to provide feedback, and hopefully you will be successful. Next slide. So just bear in mind that the LOI is very simple. You just have to fill out a brief form, and the due date is coming up in the next couple of weeks. More information in this webinar. And again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We're here to support you. Back to you.
Yeah, so I encourage everyone to go to our website if you'd like to learn more about the impact this has had on the careers of previous winners of this award. We have a really nice article there where two of our former awardees, Tamar Geffen and Corey McMillan, were interviewed about the impact this award had and how that really was a positive boon for their early career activities. And so I'm going to pass off to Heather to provide some more information on specifics of eligibility.
Yeah, for those of you that were at the ADRC meeting just a couple of weeks ago, you heard one of these live, and again, just really encourage you to use the resources that are available, including hearing from these past awardees in terms of how this award can help them, and use that information as you're thinking about your application. So who is eligible for this award is always the big question. And I think at the ADRC meeting, this was the top question, and we saw lots of different variations of this question. So we tried to be as specific as possible here, but if something's not clear, please reach out, ask us, let us know. We want to make sure that we're giving you the information that's helpful. So we mentioned that this is for new investigators. So what for this award is the purpose of a new investigator, or what's the definition? This is a postdoctoral fellow, a resident, or a junior faculty. And what we mean by that is that it's anybody that's not yet an associate professor. At the Alzheimer's Association, we fund thousands of projects. We are very aware that all of your institutions have different titles in many different arrays and at many different iterations. And so it's anything that's from postdoc, fellow, resident, before associate professor, that's faculty, right? That's full-time faculty. And it's within 10 years of rank. So, and the last piece is to not already have an R01. So if you already have had an R01, if you're a co-investigator on an R01, you're not eligible for this program. Any investigator that is at a higher or lower academic rate, so like a graduate student or something that is mentioned here, or as an associate professor or above, is not eligible for this program. So again, if you have questions, let us know, but we tried to make this as clear as possible. We also require that the applicant is affiliated with an ADRC. So part of the application process is that the ADRC director must provide a letter that confirms your affiliation was in place prior to October of 2023 and is ongoing through the duration of the award. It must also affirm the ADRC's director's commitment to distribute and provide the financial oversight for this award going forward. So a template of the letter is provided online, so you can see that along with a whole lot of other information and materials going forward. So there's a couple questions. I think one is a co-investigator or a co, but a co-PI is not. Co-investigator is also, if you are a leadership on an R01, you are not eligible for this funding mechanism. All right, so with that, I think I'm gonna go to the next slide. And we'll get to I saw there were some other questions that came through as well. So just a little bit more about the deadlines. You have this webinar. Again, we had also a discussion at the ADRC. You have resources in terms of past applicants that are also available to you. The application deadlines, the letter of intent is relatively light touch. The purpose of that is to really let us know that we can plan for reviewers. We also want to make sure we're making the right linkages to request a mentor for those that are interested in that. That deadline is November 30th. once approved, the LOI is approved, should all of those pieces be in place, applications are due on January 30th, and all of the application materials are available within the system. And then we look to have the announcement of the award recipients at the 2024 spring ADRC meeting, which is hosted in Austin. So more information about the programs, we've put together an FAQ based on the questions we've been getting, as well as linked on how to apply. You can use that QR code or go to that link that's here. So I think Sarah's going to help close us out. And then I know we've had a ton of questions already coming in, so we'll get to that. Sarah?
Yeah, I just want to mention that this is a huge team effort to put this together and to expand the award program like this on such a quick time scale. And just want to thank everybody who's been involved in making that happen, both for my team, the Alzheimer Association, and the REC. So you see some of those faces here. And we really look forward to reviewing your applications and looking forward to your questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, many questions. And I do want to reiterate to put the questions on the Q&A, as it's a little bit easier for us to track. So does 10 years of rank mean 10 years from obtaining your PhD or MD?
Sorry. Stefania, do you want to just answer that? You know the answer.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct. I also, someone put it, the link, I think Brittany put it a link. There's an FAQ of the program on the NACC website. So even if all your questions are not answered today at the webinar, we highly recommend you to go back to the website, okay? Is the ADRC director letter needed for the LOI stage? No. The LOI, as it was mentioned here, it's really quick. You go to Proposal Central, it takes 5 minutes. It's just a couple of questions and the title and a keyword, so you can be matched to the REC mentor if you need a REC mentor. Could I apply, this is a good question, could I apply this award if I'm not affiliated to an ADRC? Could I just be a collaborator of the ADRC?
Yeah, so you do have to be affiliated with the ADRC and with an official affiliation. And again, the ADRC director has to provide documentation of that affiliation.
And that affiliation needs to predate October 2023. That's very important.
Yes, as we do have a question regarding someone interested. I started an institution since October 1st and it is affiliated with the ADRC. Would this mean I can be eligible since I started before October 2023 as a requirement?
Oh, I saw. Sorry. Go ahead. Hi, go ahead, Hussein. I can answer then after you.
Maybe there's some flexibility if this individual came from an ADRC funded institutions before.
They did. In this case, I would say, Michael, yes, you would be eligible. You started October 1st, and obviously that position was in place long before then. I've known about it for a long time, so you would be eligible in terms of that application. I think the goal is that you were at that institution before the program was announced, so that you had that affiliation before the program. The program was announced the second week in October, I think. Look, I see all these people giving thumbs up, yeah. So this is apparently a big question. So it was prior to the announcement. So October 1st, that works. I think even October 5th works. So if you have questions about yourself, please reach out to us and we will confirm with you. The other thing I would note is if you aren't sure if you're eligible or if you're not eligible and you're on this call, there are other programs that are out there, including the Alzheimer's Association's programs, NIA's programs, and others, and we can help direct you accordingly. So if you're still unsure with this back and forth on whether you're eligible or not, reach out and we'll help direct you accordingly.
Absolutely. I love all the thumbs ups.
Yeah, that's good. There's a question regarding how many applications typically are funded through this program. What is the percentage of applications typically being submitted by postdocs?
So the past 2 years, we have had 2 years ago we got 51 applications and we gave out 3 awards. Last year we had around 35 applications for 2 awards. Part of the reason we're expanding this program is because a lot of those applicants, right, proposals were ones that we thought were in the fundable range. And so we want to be able to fund more of those this year and increase the chances of success for folks who do apply.
And maybe just to put some context on there in terms of what we see at the Alzheimer's Association with our programs that are outside of this mechanism and are global in terms of their reach. So they don't have that ADRC requirement component, and they have a slightly broader eligibility component. But we see a large number of applications that are coming in. We typically triage them at the LOI stage for the proposal. Because we've never done this before in this way, we can't really give you an accurate estimate of what we're expecting to see. I think we've done a lot of work, and the NACC team's been just incredible in helping raise awareness about this program and the expanded number of awards. So I think we're going to use this as an opportunity for learning as well, to try to judge where that need is and what's funded, and we'll see where we go in future years with that funding.
And I want to emphasize that one of our approaches in terms of how we structure this program is really that anyone that applies, regardless of whether you get an award, is going to get some significant benefit from this experience. You're going to have the opportunity to connect with a mentor, get a lot of feedback in your proposal. You'll get feedback from all the reviewers who review your proposal as well. All of that, it's like a practice run, right? All of that is an opportunity to take all that valuable feedback and potentially apply it to a future award you might apply for. So our goal is really to give value to every single person who engages with this proposal process.
Thank you. There is a question regarding if you're a co-investigator in the R1, but listed as a key personnel, not leading the R1, would this person be excluded from this program?
Sorry, say that again.
They're listed as a collaborator, but they're not leadership. I think then they're eligible, right, Sarah?
Yeah,
they're listed on an application. They're not the leadership. It's if you are part of the leadership, one of the MPIs of a R01, that's where the eligibility comes into play.
Postdocs are on R01s all the time. It wouldn't disqualify you. Yeah.
Is there a limit of applicants per ADRC that will be supported?
No. Apply away.
I mean, the only limit might be the ADRC director might limit it internally, but there's no limit from our side.
There's a question regarding how can I see if I'm affiliated? How do I get affiliated with my ADRC?
So you have to have a pre-existing affiliation with your ADRC. As far as thinking ahead to future years and wanting to get affiliated, like for future application cycles, I would reach out to the ADRC director and express your interest and see what opportunities they might be able to let you know about.
I guess I have one more comment. So I think you can go to the NACC website and identify all funded ADRCs to know if your institution is an ADRC funded institution or not.
Yep.
That also will answer a question that someone did regarding, you don't need to be necessarily affiliated to the director of the ADRC, but the ADRC as a whole. I had a question with that. I think that's all the questions actually that
So I did see one that I don't know that we fully answered it. Yeah. That's whether you can submit this as co-investigators, if both investigators are early career. This is really an award for the individual. There can certainly be maybe team members that are mentioned, but it should be the individual that submits it. I think as Sarah mentioned, apply away. So if you're both affiliated with the ADRC, you have an opportunity maybe for 2 shots on goal in that way. And, but it is for really the applicant to submit. You can include the team as part of that, but wouldn't do that as 2 of you coming together as a co-team, if you will.
And Brittany Fair on the NACC team posted this in the chat, but I want to amplify what she put there because it's really important. If you have any interest in this award, take 10 minutes to fill out the letter of intent, because that puts you in the running for this. You can still, you're not required to submit an application, but that deadline is coming up pretty quickly. So it doesn't require much information. It's literally a 10-minute process. So if you have any interest, go ahead. It is required. I saw someone just put that in. You have to submit that. You're not required. You'll be asked if you want a mentor. You're not required to have a mentor by any means, but you need to say, a sentence or 2 about what your anticipated topic is. Once again, something you can change later if you want to, whether, confirm that you're affiliated with an ADRC and meet that criteria. And that's about it. So
Sarah, one of the questions is if you start and you're funded while you're affiliated with an ADRC and then you transfer, can you take the award with you, or would the award conclude, is a great question. And I don't think something we've come across before.
Yeah, that's a great question. We'd have to look into that and get back to you. It's something we'll make a note of and update our FAQ and our website about. We'd have to talk to NIA about that, I think.
Agree.
Yeah.
Another question is, would previous rec scholars be considered eligible?
Absolutely. Encouraged.
There's a question regarding budget as well. Is PI effort required for the budget, or can this award supplement a K award, which provides 75% of protected time?
Sorry. So this is somebody who has their own R01 or is on somebody else's?
Has their K award.
They have a K. So I believe you can have a K and have this simultaneously. And then we will work with you in terms of the percent effort as it is. Percent effort doesn't always translate to percent salary that's supported by an application. Similarly, there's a question about whether you can have an association new investigator grant. Yes, we decided not to limit that in any way. Again, we're learning this cycle to see what that overlap is. So if you are an actively funded investigator and or in the middle of applying to our other programs, one will not penalize you for the other in any way.
Yeah. Apply away.
So Sarah, there is a question in terms of just if we can clarify the 10 years again, is it obtaining the rank or graduation date? So, is it when they become an assistant professor? Is it 10 years from that period, or is it when they got their doctorate as an example? And so I don't know, Stefania or Sarah, if you want to clarify that.
That's not reflected there yet. Within 10 years of rank. I think it's within 10 years.
Degree.
Yeah.
Degree, because it's of your degree. Rank would be considered the degree, the time you got your PhD.
So if you got your PhD in 2014, you are within 10 years of that time period. If you got it in 2013, you are also within 10 years, and we won't kind of cut that off. We'll keep that one, but 2022, you would be outside of that. I will note that the Alzheimer's Association typically makes adjustments for career disruptions, and you can contact us for that. And I believe in conversations with NACC, as well as what NIA typically is, we will take those on a case-by-case consideration. So please reach out to us should that be, again, your specific situation, and we will be happy to work with you if there has been any sort of career disruption and or time away or off for any given reason, and we'll work with you on that. I think that is listed in the RFA as well as in the FAQs for the program.
And there's a question regarding if the person can use the current mentor, or it has to be a RAC mentor.
It does not. It's completely optional whether you would like a mentor through RAC. We encourage lots of mentorship. So if you have an existing mentor who can provide mentorship to you on this, that's fantastic. If you'd like to add another mentor to the mix, I encourage everyone to take advantage of that opportunity if you would like. The more mentors, the merrier.
Still a lot of questions on eligibility. If you are an assistant professor and you're within 10 years of when you received your degree, you are considered eligible for this program. There are no specific topic priorities for this award. It is an open call in terms of research and questions within the Alzheimer's and related dementias. And we are all causes of dementia in this space for this program. So the entire ADRD space. And then just one additional clarification is that if you have a K award and you are looking to augment that by answering or adding in some additional things, that is eligible, although you do need to make the case as to why this study or what you're adding is really important. You want to make that case. That's something a mentor can really help you with in terms of how you think and position your individual application going forward.
I have a question. I got an email with the question is, if somebody is on the MD pathway and did his residency and fellowship, is the 10-year considered when he got the PhD or after he graduated from fellowship?
I think they just might have put that in the chat too. Stefania, do you want to take that one?
It's after they finish their latest degree. So if it's the PhD, it should be the PhD, come from the PhD.
But for example, an MD PhD would get the PhD, but then 5 years later would finish the fellowship. Which one would you use?
I would say the MD, the latest degree. terminal degree.
But a fellowship doesn't give you a degree, it's just training.
Yeah, but Hussein, most fellows, or at least in our experience, most fellows, at least in the US, become an assistant professor, and we often see them applying to our programs. For this, we'll add an FAQ to clarify this. We do look at that kind of individual, but it's within that 10 years, not yet an associate professor following the degree. I think, and this is going to be one of the things that we'll take a look at as we go, and how we might need to augment that in that piece. So the question is, and we'll follow up on the FAQs with that information. There's another question in here about time since postdoc, and similarly, it's from the time of degree.
There's a lot of questions related. What do you define being affiliated to the ADRC?
Yeah, that's a good question. We said, I'll read off the slide, ADRC directors must provide a letter to confirm that new investigators' ADRC affiliation was in place prior to the announcement of the award in October 2023 and is ongoing. The letter must also affirm the ADRC's director's commitment to distribute and provide financial oversight for the award funds. And once again, as Heather mentioned, there is a template letter that's available on each of our respective websites.
And I do want to put, there are many questions related to specific aims for the LOI. As stated, the LOI is really straightforward. It's just questions you can finish in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There's no place for you to do project summary, specific aims, just the title and keywords. And if you are affiliated to an ADRC, and if you want to be connected to a RAC mentor. On that, there's also a question related how long after, as due to the deadline, and you're going to be connected to a mentor. So once the deadline of the LOI is closed on November 30th, we're going to work as fast as we can at our end, and connect and have RAC have the list of applicants that do need a mentor, and that will be connected as soon as we have that, as soon as the deadline is closed. And thanks for all the deadlines here. And I do want to point it out, to go to the NACC website, the RFA is also on the Alzheimer Association website. Send us an email. We're happy to chat. Don't leave anything, even though the LOI is last minute, it's really short. Don't leave it for the last minute because systems have glitches. So make sure to have it, your LOI. If you are eligible for it, go for it.
So appreciative everybody who joined today and your interest in the award. And, this is something we hope to keep going into the future. And happy, once again, please send your questions to us if you have any. We'll continue to update the FAQ that we've developed to address all the questions that were shared here today. And yeah, wish you all the best of luck with your applications.
Thank you. My question will be answered.
Send us an email, if anything. Thank you. Bye.
Great day, everybody.